Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.
From athletic stuff like a full-court pickup game, swish, to athlete-ish stuff like a half-mile stroll. Get those steps in. Head to Sierra or Sierra.com for the brands you want at the prices that let you do it all. From athletic to athlete-ish, Sierra's got it.
Hey all, Vance here. Just wanted to give a heads up that we ran into some technical difficulties recording this episode, so you may hear some glitches on my audio track, but hopefully it won't be too much of a distraction and take you away from the normal hilarity and insightfulness that I provide. So without further ado, please enjoy the episode.
Weevil, you're wobbling.
Yeah, and I'm gonna take the fall. Unless you can help me. I've already lost my job because of this.
Dad says it's a fraud case?
Exactly. And you know how I feel about white-collar crime. They're saying I busted into the bursar's office, made a couple fake ID cards, and stuck a bunch of cash on them.
And you're saying?
Damn, Veronica, I don't even know what a bursar is.
You know that office where you pick up your paycheck, it says bursar on it? That's the bursar. Who says it was you?
A couple college kids pulled me out of a lineup.
Why do you think they're fingering you?
Because I'm easy. Easy like Sunday morning. Ex-con and all.
Except they'd have to know you were an ex-con. Have you been going around campus sharing the story of your personal journey?
Only in your criminology class when you asked me to.
Oh, yeah, right. Whoops.
Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Veronica Mars. We're just two boys watching every episode of Veronica Mars for the first time, giving our review, our reactions. We're your hosts. I'm Joe Welke.
I'm Vance.
Today we're talking about Season 3, Episode 19, the penultimate episode of Season 3. It's titled Weevils Wobble, but They Don't Go Down. Directed by Jason Blum, written by Phil Klemmer, original air date May 22nd, 2007 to an audience of 1.78 million people. And before we get into the episode, everybody, we got a couple of shout-outs. I, Joe Welke, have to personally give a shout-out to Alcrump40. Our dedicated listener and Discord user, Alcrump40, sent me the Lime Slush Alani news, which are very quickly moving up the rankings of my favorite energy drinks. The Alani News Lime Slush, fantastic stuff.
More
now,
energy drinks, huh?
Yes, yes. I think we're good on the energy drinks. I appreciate you, love you, giving you shout outs, love them. I'm gonna have to start drinking these, not on the podcast, because my fridge is all energy drinks at this moment.
You got to take them off the list, buddy.
I did. I took all of them off except for the lime slush, okay. And then we got some lime slush. So Al Crump, thank you so much. Gonna be drinking a lime slush today. We also have another shout out at Apple Podcasts rating and review. It's been a while since we had one of those, but it's coming from our dear listener, Laura LDLD. They gave us a lovely 5-star rating and review. And then they said it's a great podcast, especially if you're a fan of these shows from when you were teenagers years ago, and that they would love to hear our take on a show called Off Campus, which I've never heard of. But maybe I'll check it out. Maybe I'll give you a call, Laura LDLD, and yap at you.
Yeah, join the Discord. I'm sure there's somebody that's seen that show, and I checked out the premise. It doesn't seem like it will be on our radar for a while, but definitely one that you could probably nitpick and would fit the boys' oeuvre.
There you go. So shout out Laura LDLD. Thank you so much for that Apple Podcasts rating and review. And if you want to shout out, Apple Podcast 5-star rating and review, Spotify 5-star rating, screenshot it, send it into us, or Amazon wish list us some stuff. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/boyswatchingbuffy. We're covering True Blood. We're going to be doing the 50 Shades of Grey Summer, 50 Shades of Summer. Be on the lookout for that. We've got all the Twilight, bunch of movies, Angel, Freaks and Geeks, Buffy comics, Dollhouse, True Blood on the TV shows thing. And if there's just an individual movie you want to check out, they're for sale, $3 each. And yeah, I think that's about it for the up top announcements. How are you doing, Vance?
We'd be remiss if we didn't bring up the passing of Anthony Stewart Head, who played Giles in Buffy. Emotional time for the Buffy fandom.
Yeah, man. I mean, this year's been brutal for the Buffy fandom.
Yeah.
Dawn, Xander, now Giles.
Yeah, and the reboot was canceled too.
Yeah, man.
So, yeah, we re-released the Band Candy episode. You could see that on the feed. Revisiting some of the stuff and the post just reminded us how great a show Buffy was. It's such a good show.
I mean, my like TikTok and Instagram feed has been filled with a lot of Buffy stuff because of Anthony Stewart Head's passing. I'm just like, goddamn. Especially like the Flaming Bat Giles, dude. Chainsaw Giles, like, what a show.
Yeah, I saw a clip where he gets shot with the tranq dart and falls over, and it's one of my greatest pratfalls. It's so just
gets shot with the dart. He's just like, oh bloody hell!
Yeah, it's so good.
It's a bummer.
Another thing is that since we're coming up on the end of Veronica Mars this season, it's time for the listener poll.
Yes.
That will be posted to our Instagram page. It will be shared in the show notes, possibly in this episode, if not, definitely in the next one. But get prepared for that, where we get the rank top episodes, favorite moments, a little Q&A possibly. A lot of, the usual stuff that we do but it's a form that you can fill out. Probably will show notes of this one, and that recap episode after next week's episode of the finale.
And also join the Discord.
Yeah.
Join our Discord. That's where we have a bunch of
and we'll be
fun
posting
conversations.
It there too.
We'll probably post it in the Discord as well. So if you're in the Discord, you're in the know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well.
I'm drinking a Monster energy drink, a white Monster.
The white Monster. I got the lime slush. I'm going to need it as the pick-me-up for Weevils, Wobble, but they don't go down. What did we predict for this episode?
They predicted that the PCHers reach out to Weevil for help about something. They're worried about Vinnie Van Lowe being sheriff and would prefer Keith. That does not happen. And then I predicted that someone dies.
No.
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. Someone could be dead.
Yeah, which would be crazy, but not. I wouldn't even put it past the show to do it, though.
I wouldn't either, to be honest with you.
And
that's a good point.
And your prediction was that Keith hires Weevil to go undercover to get information about the Fitzpatricks. Weevil versus Fitzpatrick, Keith involved.
Nope.
No.
All right. I mean, I could give you like 10% for someone maybe dying. I feel like we have to, that might be a retroactive 10% next episode. Right now, we're both at 0.
I have to say, with one episode left, it's insane that a Weevil episode does not involve the Fitzpatricks. He went to jail because of them. Oh, man. I don't think they can wrap this show up in one episode.
They can't. There's no way. I'm like, I was watching this episode and just like wondering at what point did they know they were getting canceled, Because like Angel, they knew that they were getting canceled and they like wrote the episodes, I guess, to wrap up some storylines. But they think it seems like they're opening up some new storylines.
I got some thoughts later about this season.
This episode It's interesting.
I it's I'll just say it's an underwhelming Weevil episode, and the title is so good, it makes you think we're gonna get some epicness.
Yeah. No. Nope. If you're a fan of Weevil, you'll be watching this episode a little disappointed, I think.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, depends on how much you went into it, you know?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into this episode. So it opens up with Veronica and Mac in line for like froyo, and Veronica's complaining that Piz is sad that she's going to be going to the FBI internship, and Veronica also wishes that she was staying in Neptune, and like she doesn't want to be away from Piz, but she'd be upset. She's upset that Piz doesn't want her to take the internship, but she'd be more upset if he didn't even care. And Mac is like, hey, so I know that you're saying that like Piz is all like sad about all this stuff. Have you expressed to Piz at all that you're going to be sad as well and that you're going to miss him? And Veronica's like, huh, yeah, I never really thought about doing that. Huh. Yeah, I guess I could. That seems kind of lame. I mean, yeah, I guess I could do that. I'd throw Piz a bone here. Let him know that I'll miss him for the 12 weeks that I'll be gone at the FBI internship.
I like that they have to teach Veronica emotional compassion.
Yeah.
And it's coming from Mac of all people, too.
Yeah, man. I'm just like, what? Like you said last week, Veronica just has no like empathy or sympathy or any kind of like when it comes to Piz, she just cannot understand this guy.
She can't read emotional cues at all for some reason. Like that's a job of a detective, like to question people, see if they telling the truth, but she cannot tell. She has no idea how to handle that situation.
Piz is like fucking Bella from Twilight.
Yeah.
Like Veronica can't read his mind for some reason.
Yeah.
But while they're talking about this, there's a girl at the front of the dining hall line, and she's getting taken away by campus security because her card has been declined, and there's something wrong with her card, and she's yelling about it, and she's getting dragged away. And Veronica looks at that like, huh, well, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then we have our boy Eli Navarro, aka Weevil. He's in the human resources office, and this guy looks familiar. This guy has been in everything.
He's from Mulholland Drive. He was an actor in Angel. He was in the Angel episode with the gunshot. He's been in a ton of things.
Yeah. He's just got one of those faces that you see and you instantly recognize, but you have no idea what that guy's name is. But he's working HR at the college, and Weevil's talking to him because he injured his knee. And this HR guy, he's like, I think that you're faking this knee injury. You're a former felon convict. You've been to prison, and I think you're trying to scam us and run a scam on us. And Weevil's like, nah, dude, I hurt my knee while moving a washing machine across campus. And this guy's like, are you sure you didn't hurt it while you were playing basketball? And we was like, no, dude, like, what the fuck? And so this guy's like, all right, well, I'll review your claim and we'll see how it goes. We'll get all the paperwork together, and it's supposed to take about a month. And we was like, what the fuck? A month? What am I supposed to do for a month? Hobble around? And the HR guy's like, do your best, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's usually how that shit goes. Unfortunately.
Yeah, you would think he would get a little grace being the guy that helped solve the Dean's murder a little bit, but whatever.
No.
We forgot all about that.
No, that was a whole arc ago. But so then Veronica's with Piz, and they're like studying, and she does a little cutesy thing where she calls him from her cell phone, and she's like, hey, Piz, it's me. I'm in Virginia at the FBI internship, and I'm just calling to let you know that I miss you. This long distance relationship thing is really hard on me, and I really miss you, Mr. Piz. And Piz is like stone faced. Like Piz is like, what are you doing? This is what. And then Veronica hangs up the phone and then she walks over to him and she's like, I'm really going to miss you. Like, actually, it's going to suck. And Piz is like, yeah, you know what else sucks? You. How about you? We start making out and fucking. And then,
Wow, that impression just fell apart. I thought the Veronica voice was bad. His impression. When did Biz become a trucker? Yeah, what do we saw? Fucking. That's Biz from the radio show, right?
Do you realize, Vance, that we are the Piz? We're the Piz.
Nobody beats the Piz.
They do some kind of like fake cheerleader thing where Veronica's like, does it involve me being a cheerleader? And Piz is like, I can get down with that. And she's like, does it involve me being naked? And Piz is like, yes.
The ups and downs of this conversation is when she calls and she's trying to do the cutesy thing. And then, of course, Veronica goes, wait, do you have a girl in your room? And I was like, you've already made it messy. She said, do a little dance. Cheerleaders like, I'll do that. I was just joking. And then she's like, I'll get naked. They start making out. And I was like, okay.
So then we have Keith with some dude who's talking about how there have been students on campus at Hearst College making fake student ID cards with fake money. And if they're using fake student ID, it's basically like a debit card on campus. They can get a food, they can get books, etc. And Keith is like, well, if that's the case, they're committing fraud. You want me to fucking look into this? And the guy's like, whoa. Hey, Keith, calm down here. I get that you really hate college kids, don't you, man?
Well, that's why he was friends with the dean. The dean hated college kids. Now Keith is taking up the mantle. Honestly, the Keith is like, wait, that's conspiracy. I was like, chill, dude. It's a light scam right now. Like, he is ready to bring the hammer down on this. There's gotta be other crimes.
Pulls out his gun. You ready to fucking kill him?
He's like, point me at him. Like, geez, calm down, Keith.
Nah.
Hey, some lady tried to use a fake card to buy some froyo. What? Pow, pow, pow.
Pew, pew. You saw it was self-defense.
Maybe he didn't be sheriff.
Like, all of his, like, big missions are like cracking down on underage drinking. Like, I'm going to take these college scam artists down. But he's very laissez-faire about the 09ers who are getting robbed by the Fitzpatricks.
The PCHers are robbing people on a highway and carjacking. Mm-hmm. He's like, I don't care.
Yeah. But this guy, the guy that Keith is talking to, he's like, hey man, no, it's all good. We already took care of it. Some of the kids got suspended. They got written up. And Keith's like, that's not enough. And this guy's like, calm down, chill. And then he gives him the information like, hey, these kids say that they bought IDs from someone on campus who's not a student. And then we have like the police line up. There's a girl who's identifying and she's like, oh, it's number 4. And Keith is like, okay, that's cool. They bring in another guy. They're like, hey, who's the person that sold you the fake ID? He says it's number 4. We spin the camera around to reveal number 4 is Weevil. Bum, bum, bum.
He's got the greatest smirk ever. Like, he is smirking like a motherfucker. Like, all right, this right here, I was set up for like, let's see where this goes. Like, this is a great.
He's also like, this again. All right, here we go again.
Yeah.
Weevil's he's in custody.
Let's see him get out of this one, The title's got, he doesn't go down. Let's see it.
So then we have Keith talking to Weevil in the interrogation room. And he's like, man, this doesn't look good for you, man. Like, we got the 2 students. They're very upstanding, quote unquote, nice Dean's List students. You know what that means? Wink, wink, wink. They're not, juries will take their side over you because you're, a former convict, custodian.
Tan.
Yeah. Neck tattoo.
Yeah.
He's like, so I'm just saying, man, you should probably call. And then we was like, I'm going to call somebody. I'm going to call Veronica Mars. Keith is like, Jesus. All right, sure. So Veronica's at Mars Investigations and she gets the message from Weevil like, hey, I'm being framed for something. There's some kind of joke about how she has like a really old answering machine.
Yeah, there's an old ant at Mars Investigations, which is kind of insane.
Mm-hmm. It's like the cassette tape thing where you have to like rewind it like.
And it's way too latent society for that.
Yeah.
Especially for
like
what
the
they do.
60s.
Yeah.
So Veronica goes to visit Weevil in jail. And Weevil's like, yeah, man, shit's not going well for me because I lost my job because of this fraud stuff. They're saying that I made fake ID cards and put money on them. And a couple of college kids identified me. And why? And Weevil's like, it's because I'm easy. It's easy to point at the ex-con janitor and be like, yeah, that guy did it. He's like, somebody's setting me up. I don't know what the fuck the deal is. And Veronica's like, well, Weevil, why would people know that you're an ex-con? And why would people know that you're a former gang member? Are you sharing your story around campus or some shit? And Weevil's like, did you forget that you had me literally talk about my gang activity when I was in your criminology class? And then Veronica's like, ew, fuck.
That was so long ago, too. I just don't know why this episode is the second to last episode of the season versus top half.
Dude, the recap in this episode shows them Weevil all the way back in their high school days.
Yeah.
Like he had that one episode where he had hair.
Oh, yeah. They showed the winter carnival, whatever.
Yeah, where Logan met Hannah, old beanhead, residing in Vermont.
Stop calling her beanhead. She's so mean.
She's got a beanhead.
You're so mean.
It's not a mean. Her head shaped like a bean. But yeah, then they showed the recap of him talking to criminology class. I mean, the criminology teacher's dead now. The
yeah, right.
The TA is in jail for killing him.
Yeah.
And now the guy who spoke at it is in jail.
Yeah.
But so yeah, Veronica goes to visit the bursar's office, which is where the student IDs are made and distributed. That's the only person that can do it, according to official campus documents.
According to science.
Yeah. So Veronica's like, so can you tell me how these IDs work? And she's like, yeah, we've got, we put money on the cards and it's basically like a debit card. You can use it around campus. And we have the only machine that can program the card. It's in here. And then the HR guy shows up and he starts shitting on Weevil because the bursar lady's like, I just want you to know that this maintenance worker that's been accused of the crime, he has access to this office because he's the maintenance guy. And then the HR guy's like, oh, the maintenance guy, he was in my office the other day trying to run a scam, some kind of bogus workman's comp bullshit. I knew I couldn't trust him. And Veronica's rolling her eyes and she's like, ugh. And then she's like, well, how did the people know that the fake IDs were fake? And the bursar tells her that there was a food court worker that made a watch list. And Veronica's like, all right, well, I'm going to go ask that food court worker how they figured it out.
One thing that you didn't bring up is that Veronica decides to flash her PI badge in this scene.
Many times.
All of a sudden, she gets the badge and she is flipping it out like a cop on an 80s TV show. Like, here's my badge. Like, what? What?
I love she shows the badge to the bursar and the bursar's like, what are you like? How old are you? And Veronica's like 19. She's like, oh, okay.
What is this badge? Like, talking about fake IDs, are you going to flip a badge? Private eye badge looks like. I've never seen Keith once flash it.
Yeah, I can't recall Keith ever doing it. Keith Moore is like undercover flashing other badges.
Yeah. Insane.
I'm the fucking EPA. Here's my badge.
Yeah.
So Veronica goes to the food court to ask this girl, like, how does she figure out that the fake IDs were fake? And this girl looks at Veronica. She kind of like raises her eyebrows. And she's like, hold on a second. I'll show you the list. She's like, I started compiling this list and take a look at the names that are on this list. And it's like Sylvia Plath, something Fibonacci. Like it's a bunch of famous artists and authors and stuff like that.
Why would you use those names?
Yeah, that's so stupid.
Why would you not even put your name on the ID card? Why would you not have your own name on it?
I have no idea, man.
It's your ID card. Like I don't. It's so dumb.
I guess because the bursar would know that your ID is drained of its funds. But then the bursar would also, yeah.
And this narc of a cashier.
Right, dude?
Who cares?
Why are you fucking taking names down? What the fuck?
Just scan the card, give him the slop.
Right? I don't know. Yeah, girl is a fucking narc.
It's like, one thing if it was like a librarian or an older person at like the bookstore where you're buying the textbooks for like $dollars. But people are buying $10 worth of food at this place.
Yeah, well, Veronica opens up the scene by being like, I heard that you're the girl that like busted all these fake ID kids. And the girl is like, yeah, they're building a statue of me in the courtyard. And it's like, you don't even seem to be happy that you were doing this. Like, what was in this for you?
Yeah.
I don't know. But Veronica is like, so here's my card. Can you give me a call if there's any more fakes? And the girl's like, I doubt that's going to happen because after old Sylvia Plath got busted, the no more fake IDs started coming through. And Veronica's like, well, here's my card just in case. And also here's my badge. Check out my badge. Here's my card. It's got the little conspiracy pyramid on it as well.
Yeah, you want to touch it?
That's a real, authentic, genuine item.
Yeah.
So then Veronica's in the library and she's visited by a girl named Abigail Montgomery, who is the girl from the police lineup that Keith had at the police station. That I always find it funny when they say that they fingered somebody, but she fingered Weevil. But she's talking to this girl. Veronica flashes the badge again to this girl. I'm a PI.
Why? You didn't do that in Wichita linebacker. Like, called so many people. It's not like it would have changed anything.
But Veronica got her to come to the library because she did a fake, like, you have a $50 library overdue fee. This girl's all upset about it. But Veronica asks her, like, hey, so I'm hired by Eli Navarro, a.k.a. Weevil, a.k.a. the janitor that you are accusing of giving you fake IDs. When did you meet Weevil? How did you know to meet him? And she was like, well, I had my regular card and I had a big lunch all lined up and ready to pay for. And then I swiped my card and it got declined. And I was just so humiliated and embarrassed. So, I'm standing there with my burrito looking like a fucking idiot. And then she's like, some guy saw it happen and said, hey, I'll give you a $1,000 card for $100. You pay me $100, I'll get you a fake ID that has $1,000 worth of campus money on it. And she's like, yeah, I feel bad about turning Weevil in. I'm sure he's got like kids to feed or some shit. But
yeah.
But yeah, that's what happened. So then we have Wallace walking around the halls of Hearst College, and he is looking at some piece of paper, crumbles it up, throws it in the trash, and there's a dude following him. And Wallace goes to get some water from the water fountain, and he sees this guy that's following him. And Wallace is like, that's suspicious. He walks a little further and turns around again, and he sees the dude digging in the trash for the thing that Wallace just threw away. And he opens it up, and he's looking at it. And Wallace is like, what the fuck is this all about? This is something. And I was like, oh, Wallace is on a mission.
Wallace has a side story.
Yeah. I gotta say, I don't really like what Wallace's hair is doing right now either. Doesn't look that great.
I can't really remember what it looks like of it right now.
He has like a little afro, and it's just like, it doesn't look good.
Did he have it where he's growing it out to do something with it, or it's in that in
Yeah,
between stage.
it seems like it's in like the weird middle phase.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm so glad that all races experience the weird middle phase. Like, like
Yeah.
that's the one, that's a unifier for
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
You're trying to do something different. You just got to wait a while, look like a fucking dipshit.
Yep.
But so then Veronica, she runs the same library thing on the other guy that identified Weevil as the fake ID. And she's like, damn, this guy, he also told kind of a similar story about the Weevil thing. So Veronica goes to jail to see Weevil, and she's like, hey, man, I'm just going to ask you straight up, did you do this? And he's like, no. And Veronica's like, because the two kids that identified you, like I talked to them, their story kind of checks out, man. Like they say that they met you at 1 o'clock, and Weevil's like, that's usually my lunch break. And Veronica's like, can anybody confirm that that's your lunch break? And he's like, no, I usually just go and nap in my car during my lunch break. And Veronica's like, dude, this shit's not looking good for you, man. And then Keith comes in, and he's like, well, your bail is cleared, so you're a free man, you can walk about. But Keith also says that the machine that makes the student IDs, there's an identical one that they found in the locker next to Weevil's. So it really doesn't look good for Weevil. And he's like, hey, man, you should really talk to a lawyer.
The first thing I thought was, whose locker is next to Weevil's?
Yeah,
And why is that person not accused? That person would also have access to the room.
Yes.
They found it in the locker next to yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, bring that guy in for questioning.
Yeah, where's the other question? I guess they have eyewitnesses.
Yeah. So then Veronica's hanging out with Wallace, and he's making a fucking model plane. That's his shit. He always wanted to be a mechanical engineer, everybody.
You know, if you see some people like throwing a frisbee around, you're like, oh yeah, they're trying to be frisbee golfers, you know? Anytime you see some kid doing something on the beach, playing volleyball, you know they want to be pro volleyball players. Like I know, like Logan and Dick want to be pro surfers. We all know that. They've always wanted to be pro surfers or build surfboards or sell surf attire.
In the surf industry.
Yeah, like Veronica wants to be a dog trainer. We all know that.
Yes, exactly. So Wallace is making a model plane for his class, and Veronica's talking to him about it. And she's like, this is so crazy, man. Like, I remember in episode 1, back when you wanted to be a mechanical engineer and you confessed it to me off screen, and you called me a marshmallow, and that was the only other time anyone's ever called me a marshmallow. Remember when we went to go see The Wizard?
You remembered because you brought it up later.
Yeah. You are the only man that's a true friend of Dorothy's. What?
Yeah. And I just don't think Wallace would call gay as a slur.
Yeah. But he confesses to Veronica that some dude's been following him, taking his old homework out of the trash, and he's like, I don't know, man, it's kind of freaky. And Veronica is like, well, have I taught you nothing? Don't you want to be an investigator like old Veronica Mars? Why don't you check out who this guy is? Why don't you do some slick spy shit like I do? And we was like, oh yeah, Wallace. I do know how to do some slick spy shit.
Wallace.
Yeah, Wallace. God damn it.
Yeah, he doesn't have a badge though. He didn't pass a test. He doesn't know what he's doing.
He can't flash the badge.
I also don't like how jokey Veronica is about this. Wallace is bringing up something, and he's like, oh, you have a stalker? You have a secret admirer? I'm like, hey, lady, you know what this town is like.
Yeah,
please look into it.
College, the campus from hell.
Please look into this.
So Veronica and Wallace, they go to his professor to talk to him about this whole fake ID thing. Mm-hmm. And he's telling them, he's like, hey, man, that'd be really difficult to make a fake ID. Like, it's possible, but like, you really got to know your shit. Like, they're encrypted. it's basically impossible for, like Weevil to do it. Like Weevil's just some fucking dummy, He's got his high school diploma and that's it. Like there's no way that guy has the smarts to do this. And the only other machine that could possibly make the magnetic strips for these fake IDs is in the mechanical engineering lab or something. And Veronica should talk to some guy named Leon. He's like the only guy that I can think of that would even possibly know how to make one of these fucking things. And at that point, Veronica should be like, all right, Leon did it. I love hearing from a professor, like, there's only one guy at the school that I know that could do this.
They say, you know how like encryption works and Veronica's like zeros and ones? I was like, we don't need this detail of how a magnetic strip works, even in this time. And then he's like, it's impossible to make it, except for we do have a machine on campus that makes it.
And there is a guy that could probably do it, but
yeah.
But for some fucking guy like Weevil, nah.
And they do say Leon's part vampire. But I was thinking, if this was Sunnydale, or bringing people back to life, making Frankenstein monsters, they would have been like, what, magnetic strips for cash?
That's
Easy.
Nothing.
Easy. Light work.
Yeah. So Veronica is now with Piz back at the Mars household, and they're cuddled up on the couch, and they're
is cringy.
start smooching. And Piz is like, you know what I would like to do? I want to ask your dad if he would like to come on the Piz and discuss some stuff. He's running for sheriff. It's going to be important. The Piz is like the hottest fucking radio show in Neptune. So it'd be a good pub for Keith to be on the Piz.
Those kids can vote.
Yep. And Veronica's like, yeah, well, you should just ask him. He's like, I don't know. It's kind of nerve-wracking. I'm a little nervous about it. And Veronica's like, don't be nervous. Here, let me start making out with you real quick. And then Keith comes home, sees them, and they jump off of each other, and they shake their hair. And Keith is like, Jesus Christ.
This scene starts cringy with Piz saying Veronica's body is like a wonderland. And I was like, oh, boy. Also, he wants Keith to be on the radio show tomorrow at 8 a.m.
Yeah. A little short notice, my guy.
Yeah. How long have you been planning this?
Yeah. Also, Piz, let me tell you something, buddy. If you're going to be making John Mayer references at Pitchfork, you're going to get roasted. But Piz gets up and he's to ask Keith, like, hey, man, I was wondering if you would like to be on the Piz tomorrow morning at 8. And Keith does not seem interested. He's like, I'm good. And Piz is like, look, man, there's a bunch of students on campus that can vote. And I would hate to have Vinnie Van Lowe get all that airtime because, Vinnie Van Lowe's doing the Piz. Don't want to, like, twist your arm here, buddy. But Vinny's going to make an appeal to the students. And if you're not there to defend yourself, I would rather have you there. Piz is putting the heat on Keith right now.
Yo, the Piz is the top radio show in the nation.
Yeah.
Keith is treating this election like he didn't lose the last election.
Yeah.
Why is so casual about this?
But then Keith agrees to be on the show. He's like, all right, fine. I'll be on. Vinny's going to be there. I'll be there. Then Veronica asks him, hey, can you buy me a new phone for the Mars Investigations Office? That old one that you got is so fucking old, man.
Machine.
Yeah, the answering machine. And then Veronica rubs it in Keith's face a little bit. She's like, I'm telling you, man, I talked to the mechanical engineering professor. Let me just say, there's no way that Weevil did this. Because the mechanical engineering professor said that there's nobody on campus except for maybe one guy, and that Weevil's way too dumb to be doing this fake ID scam. Like, he's an idiot. There's no way that idiot could do it. And Keith's like, oh, yeah? Well, we dusted the fake ID making machine for prints, and it is covered in Weevil's fingerprints. So what do you got to say about that? And then Veronica's like,
how to break down these two things. Do you want the dumb thing or the ridiculous thing?
Let's do the ridiculous thing first.
The ridiculous thing is Veronica asking Keith a new answering machine for the Mars investigations. What year is this? 2009, 8, 9,
7.
7? An answer machine costs nothing. The type of answer machine that they have costs nothing. Veronica can just buy one herself. This is not a to go to dad and see if we can get the money. The bag of falafel he has costs about just that answer machine would cost. And you guys need an answer machine that works for your business. That has never been a problem. Just buy an answer machine, pick it up. Mac probably has one in a garage somewhere.
Mac probably made one in a garage.
Like it's not that hard. The dumb thing is this box being covered in Weevil's fingerprints. As if we didn't just solve a case keyboard covered in a guy's fingerprints that was planted.
Yep.
That just happened.
Yep.
Like if this episode aired earlier, before the Dean's thing, it would track a different way. Just watch fingerprints not Mac. That's all.
Yep. Yeah, man. I mean, it's not looking good for old Weevil, though.
There's no other fingerprints on it.
It's only Weevil's fingerprints. That's the super suspicious part. Is like, doesn't the bursar's fingerprints on them?
Well, it wasn't the stolen one. It was a duplicate.
The one that was in the locker. Yeah. So Veronica then goes to this guy, Leon, and she's asking him about like, hey, could somebody make fake IDs here at Hearst? And he's like, I mean, it's possible, but they'd need an awful lot of smarts in order to do it. And I think that I could do it. The professor said that he thinks that I'm the only person on campus that could do it. Wow, what an honor. Oh my God. And then so he's like, well, I have some research material about this magnetic strip stuff. And here, let me go through my filing cabinet and it's gone. All my research materials are gone.
Commercial break.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Hi, this is Zoe Deutsch.
And Nick Robinson. Our brand new movie, Voicemails for Isabel, is all about those little moments that feel like the universe is looking out.
Feeling homesick, then your sister calls.
Hearing that perfect song exactly when you need it. Sometimes life rigs things in our favor, like learning about your new favorite rom-com, Voicemails for Isabel. Only on Netflix, June 19th.
Good sleep is everything. That's why Ollie's Science Back Support is made with a blend of melatonin and L-theanine for both kiddos and grown-ups. So when your mind won't switch off, you've got something that can help. Your racing thoughts and restless nights won't stand a chance. Find Ollie Sleep Solutions for the whole family at ollie.com. That's OLLY.com.
So then we have the Piz radio show starting. It's Vinnie versus Keith. He's there like, I got the two guys running for town sheriff on the Piz, and they're here to debate the topics of the day. So, Mr. Mars, like, let me ask you a question first. Your big campaign thing is like you're combating the legal drinking age. There's a bunch of college students here. Like, what do you have to say about your crackdown on bars? And Keith was like, yeah, there's a legal drinking age and there's underage drinking. We got to crack down on that. And Vinnie Van Lowe was like, let me butt in here real quick. Let me talk about the issues that are really affecting the people of Neptune. Murder, terrorism. I think I'm going to tackle those issues first before some little tiddlywinks, underage drinking nonsense. That's not important. And I'm going to take down like the murderers of Neptune before I get to underage drinking. And then there's kids in the dining hall. They're like, woo, Vinnie Van Lowe.
And this is where Keith just decides to take a back seat and not bring up his record of stopping terrorism and murders.
Yep.
Like he solved so many murders. He solved the Dean murder. Like his daughter helped him. I just, like the mayor, Beaver, I can't even name all of the stuff that's solved outside of what Vinny has done. And Keith literally, like the school bus thing. What are we talking about? Why does he not bring this up?
I just love that Vinny's credibility all stems from that one robbery that he stopped and one newspaper quote from Keith.
From Keith, the one that gave you the green light.
Yeah.
Giving you the green light means Keith matters more. It doesn't, I don't know. I don't know. It's so weird.
So then Piz is like, oh man, this isn't going good for old Keith. Later, let's take a call. And the caller is like, hey, yeah. This is Josh, and I got 2 questions for Sheriff Mars. First question, why do you suck so hard? And second question, what's it like to suck so hard? And Keith looks like, oh boy.
I love that Veronica's also probably not listening to this. She's not listening to a friend or her dad on the radio. She absolutely isn't, actually, because we see what she's doing.
Yeah. I mean, well, Keith has this big, dumb, fucking Charlie Brown head.
Why can't he say anything? Why can't he stand up for himself? You have track records. You have a best-selling book.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're famous.
You got the school rapist. Like, what are we doing?
Yep.
What are we doing?
He got the school rapist. He got the TA that killed the famous criminology professor.
Like, what are we doing? Why can't he say anything?
Got the criminology professor who killed the dean's wife.
Yeah.
Like, this is all just on campus.
Yes.
I don't know, man. But Veronica's in the library, or Wallace is in the library, and the dude that has been following him is there too, and Wallace looks over at him. He's like, this motherfucker, he's following me again. So Wallace gets up, and he's going to run a little scam. He walks away from his computer and books and stuff, and as soon as he does, this stalker guy walks over to Wallace's computer. Wallace just like does a loop, starts looking through this guy's stuff. Wallace sees that he's got a bunch of pictures of him, of Wallace. He's got his stats from the basketball season. He's got his class schedule. And so Wallace is like, what the fuck is going on? And then this stalker dude sneaks up from behind Wallace, and he's like, hey, what are you doing? And Wallace is like, what am I doing? What the fuck are you doing? And this dude, he looks over his shoulders and he's like, all right, have you heard of the cast?
The castle, I think. Did you say the castle?
The castle.
The castle.
I have no idea. I didn't hear what this dude said. I was hoping that you would say.
I think it's the castle.
And Wallace is like, yeah, kinda. This dude goes, well, you've been tapped to be invited to be a part of the castle. And Wallace is like, I'm listening. You heard of the castle?
I would love to know that we have more than one episode to deal with this. This is something like the Tritons.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking too. Maybe it's that's what the movie's about, taking down the castle.
I can't even. How many years is it between this and the movie? I think it comes out until 2014.
The movie's 2014?
I think so. Or season 4 is 2014.
Damn, 7 years later. Holy shit.
Veronica Mars movie 2014.
Damn.
So yeah, I don't think she's in college anymore. Yeah,
no, I don't think so either. I also don't think they're going to be breaking the case of the castle.
No.
So then we have Veronica. She's hanging out with Weevil, and they're talking about who could be possibly doing this to him. Who's framing him? He's like, I don't know, man. And then Veronica's like, all right, well, we're going to go through everything you touched the day before you were busted. We're going to walk me through your day. And we was like, all right. And then Veronica shows him a picture of that like fake ID making box. He's like, this is the box. Does this look familiar? And he's like, I've never seen that box in my entire life. Mm-hmm. Veronica's like, all right.
Well,
that checks out.
This is a wobbling walk and talk because Weevil still has his little limp as he's walking.
Yeah, because he hurt his leg because of washing machine.
Mm-hmm.
So we go back to the Piz, and all the students are calling into the Piz just to troll Keith, tell him how much he sucks.
I love it's a live radio show too, because everyone watches it from out the window.
I also love that Keith is just staring straight ahead.
Keith is botching this so bad.
Yeah. And Vinny is like seconding the student calls. He's like, yeah, he does suck, doesn't he? And they're like, yeah. So then Veronica and Weevil show up, and they're They go underneath of Piz's desk. They're looking for something.
No, he went through his day. He said the first thing he did went to the radio station to fix something. So he's just going through his motions, which is crazy that they walk into a live radio show and do this.
Mm-hmm.
Also crazy to think that they had met up at 7:30 in the morning because this is happening during the interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But while they're doing that, Vinny starts to go off about how he's like, yeah, you know what? My time serving in the military police, the crime in the military like dropped significantly while I was there. And Keith is like, you really think that's because of you, Vinny? And he's like, I was there. I played my part. I did it. And then Keith goes, you want to talk about your dishonorable discharge from the military police? And then Vinny goes, all right, we're going negative. All right, well, I didn't think that we were going to go negative, but now that you have, the gloves are off. How about the times that you were cited 6 times for impersonating government officials? How about all these other cases that you fucked up? How about your daughter who was arrested twice? I'm just going to say this, like, while Don Lamb was sheriff, Neptune was safe.
He says tranquility for 2 years under Lamb. Wow.
Just
what are we
peaceful?
What are we talking about?
Aaron Eccles doing his stuff, the mayor blowing up. And Vinny's like, yeah, so Keith, I'm worried because you want to be the sheriff of Neptune and you can't even keep your house straight. You can't even keep your family safe. And then Veronica hears this as she's like walking out with Weevil. She turns around and like pushes Vinny's head into the microphone. It makes that like boom noise.
Which was great.
And then Keith and Piz start giggling.
But Keith, Veronica just solved the Dean's murder. She has to be well known for that. That happened in class. That's all the school will be talking about for 3 months. Vinny can't talk bad about Veronica. The school has no reason to not like her.
I'm just saying that take all of the cases that Veronica and Keith have solved away. Mm-hmm. When Vinny talks about how Neptune was safe under Don Lamb, the mayor was exploded in a plane over the city. There was a serial killer of high school students with the bus crash. Like, what are we talking about?
It doesn't make any, like, I wish this was less of them just having Vinny just say stuff and Keith go, oh no, I'm losing. I wish it was an actual, like, Keith says something and then Vinny kind of undercuts it in a way where you're like, oh, that's a twist on the actual facts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
there's
ways to do it.
There's 2 active gangs in Neptune, the PCHers and the Fitzpatricks.
Yeah, why didn't he play the Fitzpatrick? Why didn't he play the Fitzpatrick card? Why didn't he bring up the house robberies more? Like, he should have. I just wish there was a way that they could have done this where it was more believable that he was swaying. But the stuff that they're so easy to dismiss.
Yeah. But that's the way it goes. Veronica gets to slap him in the back of the head and he hits his head on the microphone. Weevil he's in the HR office. He's showing Veronica what he did the day. He's like, and then I came to the HR office and this HR guy's like, what are you doing here? You were fired. You can't be in here. In fact, I'm calling campus security. And then Weevil's like, and I distinctly remember picking up an envelope with the HR guy's personal home address. So I know where he lives. And then the HR guy like hangs up the phone slowly.
This was my favorite scene in the episode because they're just walking into this office and not paying him any mind whatsoever. He's like, yeah, and then I was taught a suit, and then I did this. I love that he's just walking through his day. Like, if the whole episode was just reliving Evil's day, walking, great.
Yeah. So then the next place that Weevil and Veronica go to is a girl's dorm because he went to this girl's dorm to fix the drain, and this girl is like, hey, it's you. You really helped me. Thanks for fixing my drain. And Weevil's like, that's what I do.
He's got the riz with the ladies. Like, anytime he fixes like some minor thing, the ladies are batting their eyes at him.
Yeah. So he goes over to the sink where he was fixing. And he's there with Veronica, and he's like, "Hey, Veronica, yesterday when I came to fix this sink, there was a bunch of stuff under the sink, and now it's gone. I don't know what happened to it, but that's a little suspicious." And Veronica's like, "They could have had the magnetic box there, and you could have touched all over it and not even realized it." And Weevil's like, "God damn it."
Still, I feel like, how do you get your fingerprints off and his fingerprints on only? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's suspicious.
they would have had to dust. They would have to dust the fingerprints off of that, then wait for him to grab it and pick. I don't know. It's something.
So then this girl's roommate shows up, and Veronica recognizes her because she was in Veronica's criminology class. And she's like, "Hey, do you remember this guy?" And she's like, "Yeah, weren't you the gang guy that talked about your life?" And he's like, "Yeah. And now I'm the janitor." Well, I was until I got fired. Now this girl looks kind of sheepish. And Veronica's like, "Hey, I love your hair. Do you mind if I take a picture of it so I can show it to my stylist?" And the girl's like, "Yeah, sure." So then Veronica takes out her ginormous camera and takes a picture. And then they leave the dorm room. And Weevil's like, "What the fuck was up with that? Why did you take a picture?" And she's like, "Oh, all will be revealed back at the library."
This season is so out of order. This is
Yes.
the first, like, we referencing the girl from that classroom that was, I think this is a girl that was like listening in, or it might just be like, whatever, that like was like,
Yeah, one of the girls that asked the question. Because they showed that in the recap.
yeah, and I wasn't sure if it was the same exact girl, but it probably, but it's like, why is this so late in this? Why? Like, I know Weevil had like some health issues and stuff, but they were still using him.
Well, I forgot to mention, like, there's a bit about the one roommate being like, "Yeah, my roommate, she's such a dumb blonde sometimes." And Veronica turns, because Veronica's blonde, she's like, And I feel like the girl that said it is blonde.
I don't know if this works.
I don't know what it accomplished.
Again, I'm going to bring up Buffy. Like, when you do that to Buffy because she's the blonde and Willow's the like redhead and Cordelia's not a blonde. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just kind of works. But this came out of, and it wasn't even meant to be offensive to Veronica.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So Veronica takes Weevil to the library and they upload the picture that Veronica just took. And Weevil's like, "That's a terrible picture. It's all out of focus." She's like, "I wasn't trying to take a picture of the girl, you nincompoop. I was taking a picture of the picture in the background."
Like we do every episode when I need to solve a crime and someone just has a photo that I notice on the wall. This happened like 5 times this season. Like the Dean's like seeing the son's photo on the wall. The first episode of the season when she notices the photo of the girl in the back who stole his stuff. Like they keep finding these Polaroids that are just lying around.
Yeah. Then the Mercer one where she knew that the RA was friends with Mercer.
Well, it was a little too late for her to figure it, but it was there.
Yeah. But Veronica shows this picture that she took a picture of, and it's like from an Aspen skiing trip. And Veronica's like, "Look at everybody who's in this skiing trip." I thought she was gonna have a panic attack and start thinking about Madison. About Madison?
How are we gonna Aspen? And she not go, is that Madison?
Yeah, like Logan and Madison are making out in the background. She just has a single tear fall from her.
We was like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, going down in a panic attack.
I forgot about that.
You can't bring up Aspen. Like, we had 2 episodes where she lost her shit about Aspen.
Yeah.
Just make it somewhere else.
But Veronica's looking at everybody that's in this picture, and she's like, "That's the girl that had the Sylvia Plath ID. That's the girl who ID'd you. That's the guy, Leon, from the engineering class who knows how to make the magnetic strips. And that's one other person. I bet you under one of these masks is some other guy that we can find." And then so Weevil and her start smiling like, "Yeah, we got this shit figured out, my dude. This is a conspiracy."
And then the episode takes a turn right here.
It does. Yeah. This is where I will announce that I'm not the biggest fan of this episode.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing, man. It's a little too late.
Going back to the same wells yet again.
This storyline of the season is ass backwards. Like, we got to finishing with the Dean's murder would have been perfect. It would have fit with how the other seasons go. The middle of it could have been the campus rapist thing. And I think you could have blended this stuff in with the campus rapist stuff and like spaced that out a bit. So that, because now I haven't gotten to it yet, but this part of the season where main cast interact with each other, which you would think would happen in the beginning of just college.
There's resolutions to the end of season 2 that are happening now.
Why? We're so far removed. This doesn't, it just doesn't make any sense why we're not doing this stuff earlier.
Dude, I'm with you. Because now Logan's on the phone, he's talking to Parker, and then Dick Casablanca shows up, and he's a little drunk, and he walks into his room, and then Logan's on the phone, he's like, yeah, of course I miss you, Schmoopy, I miss you, we got airline miles, of course I'm gonna come and miss you, Schmoopy. And then Dick emerges from his room, and he goes, hey, Logan. Well, my brother jumped off the top of this building. Did you try to stop him? And then Logan goes, hey, honey, I'll call you back.
When he said that, I was like, what are we doing? This is like the second to last episode of the season. This is episode 3 stuff. Episode 2.
Yeah.
You've been living with him this long?
They've been living together for a long time.
Half the season.
And now we're getting into this.
What? He's been like living with him since the start of the school year.
Yeah.
How? This is insane to me.
I just love the...
I'll call you back.
Yeah, I'll give you a call back.
Yeah, this is why.
So Logan hangs up and he's like, what'd you say? And Dick is like, well, my brother killed himself. You were there. Did you try to stop him? And Logan's like, hey, man, what's going on with you? You all right? Maybe put down the beer. And then Dick is like, when we were kids, I duct taped him to a bicycle and I duct taped his feet to the pedals and left him in the park for hours and hours and hours. And now Dick is crying. And he's like, I did terrible things to Beaver, man. I did terrible things. And Logan's like, hey, man. Hey, maybe put the beer down. Maybe like tomorrow, let's go surfing. Let's go surfing, take your mind off some things. You seem like to be going through a rough period, man. You know, Daddy Dick is back and this is fucking you up, dude. Like, so maybe let's catch some waves. It'll clear your head. And Dick is like, yeah, but I'm bringing 24 of my closest friends. And he's shaking his beer. And he's like, I'm going to fucking get wasted too in case it doesn't take my mind off things.
Surfing is their answer to everything.
I mean, also, like, the surfing is the last thing you want to be doing if you're drinking. Surfing is dangerous, dude.
I wish the show would actually let them talk about it. Because that's what I've been waiting for since the end of season 2. Because season 2 ended, and you're like, wow. And I'm like, I got to see how Dick is going to, like, react to this. And then they don't do it. They just push it off until the whole season goes away. And now Dick is having, like, I treated Beaver bad. Wait, now you feel like that?
Yeah.
And I was confused when Dick and Beaver went to that party that Madison and at the mayor's house with the daughter, and they were all outside.
Yeah.
And they came out, they were like buddies partying together. That was a really weird shot. I didn't really add up or track with the relationship that we know of Beaver and Dick. Is Logan not going to be like, hey, you know, like you killed people and tried to shoot me?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
This has to happen in the first half of the season, though.
Yeah, because they tried to do the thing about like, yeah, we heard that like Dick isn't really doing well because of all this drama. And then we just see him being a douchebag the entire season, like just typical Dick Casablanca stuff until now.
Imagine if he knocks on that door, we find out he's going through it because of all of this. Then you would have a little redemption, not even like a full redemption. He could still be a jerk, but let's see he's like trying to be better, or he, you know, like, I don't know. They just made it like he didn't care.
Like a Shades of Grey character, like a Vinnie Van Lowe, where Vinnie does some like heroic good stuff, but then he's also a scumbag.
There's just been so many examples of this in media of characters that are better bad and they're like turn around. And I always think of Jaime Lannister in Game of Thrones, like one of the people that you should never ever feel any sympathy towards, and they make you feel sympathy towards an incesting child herder paralyzer. Like you're like, oh wow, you make me feel something for this character. You might not always be on his side. They had a perfect opportunity with Dick, and I feel like that's what they're wasting. Is like he went through something traumatic and he should change. Veronica changed after Lily's death. Like she completely is a black jacket person because of Lily's death. Dick has not changed after Beaver's death, except for now because the season to end. But he's not even really changed. We'll get to something later that was just another what the fuck moment that happened.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. So then we have Veronica. She is put up the Aspen ski picture all across campus. And it's like, hey, if you know these people, give me an email, veronicamars@gmail.com or whatever. And the two girls that Weevil and Veronica were just in their room where Veronica took the ski picture. They see it, and the one girl that answered the door is like, whoa, that's your picture. You know, maybe you should like get in contact with this Veronica girl because you know these people, right? And the other blonde girl is sitting there like, oh shit, I think that this girl is on to me.
Crazy that Veronica didn't come up with a different email. It has her name. Insanity.
Right? Yeah. So then Veronica's shaving her legs in the sink, and Mac is there watching her. They're getting ready to go to the beach with Wallace and his little plane. And they get to the beach. They're talking about bands that they like, and somebody's like, did you hear that Matchbox 20 is like doing something else? And Piz goes, ugh, Rob Thomas is a whore. Singer of Matchbox 20, famous from Smooth with Santana. Also, name of the guy who wrote this show.
Well, there's some listeners that are going to be a little upset that we skipped over the whole, which I'm happy you skipped over, but the Miss Mars Venus Razors bit that they do. And then the car thing, we got something about ocean gas guzzling, and Veronica plugs that she drives a Saturn hybrid. This whole little transition to the beach was some wordplay.
So then Veronica is like, hey, Wallace, did you ever figure out anything about that dude that's been stalking you? And Wallace is like, don't worry about it. I'm here with my plane. And they're like, okay.
Thanks for that little story, I guess. That little tease that should, again, that would be a great Wallace story to have throughout the series.
Yeah. Then we see that Logan and Dick, they are just getting out of the water. They're catching some waves at the exact same part of the beach that Veronica and Wallace and Piz and Mac are at.
Too.
Yeah. So then Wallace puts his plane down. He's getting it ready, and it takes off and it flies. But then there's some kind of malfunction and it crashes, and it lands in front of Dick and Logan. And they're like, hey, look at this. It's a fucking stupid plane. And Wallace is like, don't touch that plane. And then Dick and Logan, they see the rest of the gang, and they're like, hey, well, we're going to be sipping on some brews by the bonfire if you want to join. And everyone's like, yeah, sure. And Wallace is like, I'm going to hang back and work on my plane.
Oh, I just have to note that they keep bringing up this underage drinking thing and cracking down on underage drinking. And all we do is see them underage drinking. And not even underage drinking. They are open can on the beach. And like there are a ton of people, daytime, and Dick and Logan have their 24-ounce cans of beer and are just drinking in the open.
Yep.
What is this show doing, man?
Wildness. Where's Sax? Where's Leo D'Amato?
Yeah, Sax should be on there, making sure everyone has their pants on in the ocean.
Yeah, you think that we're going to see Leo D'Amato again?
Dude, I can't believe that they ended an episode with, hey, Leo, you're back on the force. He's like, thanks. Bye. What was the point?
Never to be seen again.
What was the point of that?
Yep.
What was the point of that?
But So everybody's hanging around this bonfire, and Dick and Logan, Dick's being Dick, he's making his off-color comments, and Mac is like, you know what? I think I'm going to go help Wallace with his plane. So she leaves. And Dick is like, you know what? I'm going to go talk to Mac, actually. So I got something to say to her. And I was like, oh, boy. But now at the bonfire, it's just Logan, Piz, and Veronica, and it's awkward. But then we show what Dick is doing. And Dick goes up to Mac, and he's like, hey, I've been doing a lot of thinking about you and Beeve, and, you and I aren't very close because, you're smart, and I'm a dumb, blonde surfer dude, and we don't get along, and our kinds just don't mix, and I'm an 09er, and you're just some scrub. But I wanted to apologize to you because, like, some of the stuff I've said to you is pretty messed up. I've been going through a hard time though, but like, I'm sorry. I said some fucked up stuff to you. And Mac is like, okay, apology accepted. And he's like, you know what? You're cool, Mac. And I see what Beeve saw in you. I get it. And she's like, cool, thanks. And then Dick Casablancas closes his eyes and he starts to do the lean in to kiss Mac. And Mac backs up and grabs his head and gives him a good old-fashioned mush. And then she walks away and she's like, all right, goodbye. And Dick's like, right on.
Yeah, he's like, don't tell anybody this happened. Bye.
Yeah.
What the fuck are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, that was an awful moment.
I don't know what this scene is supposed to do. Like, I don't have any sympathy for Dick at this point. Like, I am on Mac's side. End of season 2, I'm watching a girl traumatized in the corner about what happened to her. And then season 3 starts with Dick calling her a beard and making fun of her. Why would I just... And this isn't like the first time that they've hung out. They were hanging out in the same place when they were doing the ass website. So I thought he was going to get up, say something. Why couldn't he just say something like poignant and walk away? And it's like, at least we close that chapter. Like, I mean, and then Mac accepts the apology.
I was surprised that she accepted the apology.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Rat apology for lesser transgressions. He doesn't even know about the worst thing that Veronica did to him. I thought, why not have Mac even just like give her like a half paragraph or something to say to like really air out how she feels about this and how call out Dick for being a dick. They need to beat him down so that he changes. Like, I feel like they never give him shit. Give everybody else shit, but no one gives Dick shit.
Yeah, he's just off the hook. Like, he never faces any consequences for anything. No one ever, like, really yells at him. Is he still married?
This adulterer. Even the push away of him trying to kiss was like, it was like she should have slapped
the include that kiss moment. Like,
she should have pushed him and like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, or something.
Yeah.
Instead, they're like, haha.
No, it's played off as like a goofy, that's just Dick being Dick.
She literally asked earlier in the scene, hey, Logan, did you try to save my brother before he killed himself? We now have to do serious stuff. Right now, do the jokey stuff. You have to do serious stuff at this point.
Yeah. But then we go back to the bonfire and Piz is talking to Logan and he's like, hey man, it must have been really nice growing up here in Neptune. Like, this is a dope spot. And, I remember I was like working all the time doing stuff. And Logan's like, oh, that must be why, Veronica, like, you're working, man. My life is pointless and frivolous. My life of frivolity. And Piz is like, what? No, man, I'm just talking. What are you talking? I'm just saying, like, it must have been nice. And he's like, no. I get it. I'm just some dumb rich kid. And I never had to work a day in my life. And my life is frivolous. And Piz literally goes, like, hey, man, what's your problem? I was trying to have a conversation and be civil. When you said, like, hey, we're adults, Veronica. We can be civil. We're friends. Like, what the fuck is your deal?
I just can't. Like, I can't even side. Like, they don't even do this scene in a way where I'm like, all right, I can see Logan in his feels here. But he used to brag about being a rich kid and not having to work. That's all he did the 2 seasons. And this doesn't even make you look cool in front of Veronica the way you're doing this. You can make fun of Piz's hair, his name, the music he likes. Like, that's how you're supposed to tear down the person that you're trying to make look dumb in front of the person you like. That's the high school move. Mm-hmm. That's the college move. You make kids look worse so that you look better. Instead, he's making himself look like a little baby.
Yeah, and Veronica's even like, ew, dude, like, what are you doing?
I just don't.
She's like, oh, Wallace's plane's flying. Oh, we gotta go. Yeah. Goodbye. Then I just wrote in my note, Logan is all pissy still. Like, because they leave and he's just like there with his beer looking forlorn at the bonfire.
Him and Dick need to be on separate parts of the world. They don't need to be together. Yeah. This duo is not a good duo.
Yeah. So then after all this, Veronica goes back to the library. She's looking at the Aspen thing and she's got some information. She's IDing all of the students that are in the picture. And she sees that one kid, his dad is an executive at the magnetic ID making box company or whatever.
Magneto Corp.
And then the dude that she's actually like investigating right now, he shows up to the library wearing the exact same clothes that he's wearing in the Aspen.
So he took that photo
just to make sure there's no confusion. He's wearing the same hat. Yeah. And he's like, hey, so I'm guessing you know who I am. And Veronica's like, yeah, you're Johnny Crackenberry or whatever his name
Patrick
was.
Nickerson.
It was something ridiculous.
Oh, no, Patrick Nickerson, I think is his name.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, so you know who I am and I know what you're doing. So let me come with us. There's some people that I think you need to meet. And Veronica's like, okay.
Yo, why do you follow suspected criminals into a separate location, Veronica? What are you doing? Is that on the PI test? Don't follow criminal to a secure location. Oh my God, dude.
They take her to like a narrow hallway that's away from security cameras.
I was like, you're. At this point,
it's this guy. It's that guy Patrick and the girl Abigail from earlier, because I guess they're a couple. But Veronica follows them to like this boardroom.
Yeah,
and it's all of the people from the Aspen picture. And Veronica walks into the room, and Patrick Crackenberry, Knickerbacker man, he and Abigail Montgomery, they close the door behind Veronica. And I just saw that happen. I was like, what are you doing?
Have you learned nothing?
They're going to take a lead pipe to the back of your head, my dude.
Honestly, if they would have killed Veronica here, and then the next episode was just Keith trying to solve Veronica's murder, it would make as much sense as anything. Because I can't believe she would follow them somewhere.
So they're all in the room. They all sit down at the boardroom desk. And Veronica makes a crack. Like, so I called this meeting today and whatever. So all these Aspen kids are like, hey, you figured it out. You know that my dad's the exec at fucking Magno Corp. He's Magneto. And you know the scam that we've been running. But like, honestly, like, who's it hurting? You know, so what? We're stealing a little money from the campus. Who gives a fuck? We're making a little money on the side. Not a big deal. And Veronica's like, well, the big deal is that you accused my client, my friend, Weevil, of making this. And I don't like that. So now that you're all like confessing to this, I'm going to call my dad, who is the sheriff. And they're like, whoa. Don't call the sheriff just yet. All right, you got us. We did it. But how about we give you a little money for you to keep your mouth shut, kid? How about a little sweeten the pot here? How about we make you a student ID that has unlimited funds? You'll never have to worry about buying books again. You're a scholarship kid, right? You know, it must be hard to make ends meet. We can get you books. We can get you food. And Veronica's like, ooh, all the food, dining hall campus food that I could ever imagine and want. And they're like, no, dude, we're trying to fucking do you a favor.
You do eat at the dining hall.
And Veronica's like, you know what?
You do eat at the dining hall a lot.
She does. That Chili's. It's making some business. But Veronica's like, Well, that is a tempting offer, but the thing that really bothers me about this whole thing is that you are a bunch of fucking rich kids who don't need to be running this scam. You're rich. And now you're accusing somebody that's lower class, an ex-con, my friend Weevil, who comes from the same side of the tracks as me, kind of. And you're making him take the fall for your bullshit crimes. And that's the kind of shit that I can't stand. So I'm going to reject your offer. I'm going to turn you in. And then they're like, all right, well, what evidence do you have to turn us in? You can't turn us in. And Veronica pulls out her phone, and it turns out Veronica's been recording this conversation the entire time.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I've got all the evidence I need. I could turn you into my dad, who fucking absolutely just, he's frothing at the mouth to destroy some college kids' lives. My dad hates college kids. Did you hear the Piz earlier today? He wants to bust any college kid that he can. So he would be a lot more strict on the punishment. You have until noon tomorrow to turn yourselves into the campus police, who will be a lot more lenient. And Veronica walks away, and the kids all look like, God, fuck, damn it.
I just have to bring up that there's like 12 to 15 kids in this room. They're all on the side of the table. And when she first walked in there, I thought they were going to do a thing where they mention that they're part of the castle and they want to recruit Veronica. And I was like,
yes, that's
and
what
I was like,
okay,
now we got Wallace trying to do the castle. We find out the castle's a little shady. It's like too much for one episode left, but still. So I thought that's what was happening when I saw that many people behind it, even though I still don't think she should have went to that room.
So when I saw that many people behind it and they're in that boardroom, I thought that this was some kind of FBI internship test or something, or like they're all the interns with Veronica. And I don't know. I was like, this can't be this straightforward.
And they just like, they're like, yeah, we did it. They confess. They try to buy her off with like some meal ticket stuff. They also mentioned that they have a third machine. And then she's like, oh, we'll find it. And they're like, you think we keep it in our dorm? And they're like, shut the fuck up. Why would you tell her there's not in our dorm?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I just can't believe she walked into the room.
I can't believe she walked into the room, said that I'm going to turn you into the sheriff, and then walked out unscathed.
And these people don't have another plan?
Nope.
Yeah.
So Veronica walks away. She calls Weevil, and she's like, hey, come to the engineering lab. I got some good news for you.
Oh, she says go to the engineering department to find the third before they get rid of it.
Yeah, that's what yeah. So then we have Logan back at his hotel room, and he's watching a poker game alone. And then Dick pops his head out of his door, and Logan notices. And then Dick pops his head out of the door again, and Logan's like, what are you doing, man? And he's like, so I got something to show you, Logan. And promise not to like freak out, but it's all queued up. All you gotta do is hit the space bar and it'll start playing.
Just before you say what it is, what did you think was happening here? Did you have any clue?
I had no idea. I had no clue what this was.
I was very curious, but had no clue. I also think if Dick didn't do that weird kiss thing early, if he didn't ask about his brother earlier, poking his head out and being really weird and coy was funny as hell.
Yeah.
It's so funny. And Logan's reaction to it is like, what the fuck are you doing? It's so good, but I'm like, I can't get fully on board with it, especially with what gets revealed, because now it's also really creepy that he does this. He does this coy, playful thing to do what he does. It's just so, they just haven't got it for me with Dick.
Yeah, they definitely didn't, because Dick comes over with his laptop, cues up the video. He's like, Logan, press the space bar. And it is a secret camera video of the scene earlier with Veronica and Piz when they were doing the like, oh, I'm going to miss you during the FBI internship. And then they start banging. There is a secret camera filming all of this. And Logan's there watching it. And he's just like, where did you get this? And he's like, oh, it's just going around in an email. And yo, check out her ass, though. Like, it's pretty bodacious bod and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, Dick Casablancas.
What are we doing with them? Like, I can't. Like, this is the same guy when Logan's mom, and he was like, oh, yeah, let's watch this again. And just had no social empathy whatever about his friend losing it. Remember, he like cuts open a cake one time or something, just starts eating his cake at that one party. Like, he has no sense of like decorum, but then he gets to be like, Daddy Dick, why are you coming back? I hate myself. Like, no, we can't. You can't get any of that, Grace. And the video, he watched this video. He knows it. He literally sat and is watching this video before he came out to show it to Logan.
Well, it's also like he knows how beaten up Logan is about not being with Veronica. It's like, hey, man, here's a video of her fucking some other dude that you hate.
Well, he's popping out and it's like, oh my God, should I show him? Should I not show him? Should I show him? And then as soon as he shows him, he was like, hey, look at her ass.
Yeah.
Punch Dick in the face.
Well, Logan's whole thing is like, well, Dick is like, you think that she knew about this? And Logan's like, no, it's a secret camera hung up in the corner of a room.
Yeah.
But Logan, he starts to hulk out. He's in his little fucking green Henley, so you know he's hulking out. So we go to the Piz, and the Piz is doing some kind of like, are good people really even good? And how can we even know who's a bad person? And blah, blah, do philosophical Piz radio
what is
show
this
bullshit.
Radio show?
I have no idea. But Logan is like walking through the dining hall, kicks open the doors, and he's storming through the hall, kicks open the door to the Piz radio show, and he just fucking starts beating the fuck out of Piz. Like, he picks him up out of the chair, throws him against the wall, punches him in the face like 3 times, and then Piz starts to kind of fight back. And then Logan's like, nope, not today. They throws him into another room, starts bashing his head into like records and stuff. Like, oh my God.
The Piz army is going to come after hard.
The Pizsters.
Yeah. You don't want to mess with the Piz hive.
Absolutely.
Like, if we don't have them on the radio next week, they're storming Neptune Grand.
Yeah, the Hearst College radio station, KRFF.
There's going to be candles, flowers in the radio station. This scene is insanity.
I mean, it's like an extended fight scene.
Yeah.
Piz only gets a couple of licks in, too. Like, he does, like, Logan is wailing on this dude.
Does Piz push him over the table and then run away? There's some stunts in this. There's some stuff. And then he, like, hides.
Yeah,
and then,
I mean, it's a pretty impressive fight scene. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. For Veronica Mars, like, they're going at it, man. But then we have Veronica. She's at the Mars Investigations office, and Keith shows up. He's got some food, and he's like, hey. Or no, he's got a bag, and he's like, hey, I got some good news. So a bunch of kids turned themselves into the campus police in that fake ID thing. And Veronica's like, huh, isn't that something? And Keith's like, good job, honey. And for that good job, I got you a present. And he got her a new phone. That's the most 2007 looking thing.
Yeah, the new answering machine type thing.
Oh, new answering machine. And Veronica's like, all right, cool. They all turn themselves in. So then she takes out her phone and she calls Weevil. And she's like, hey, did you find that third machine in the engineering lab? You're a free man. All the kids turned themselves in. And Weevil's like, that's great to hear. Glad they turned themselves in. But I did not find any magnetic strip machine in the engineering lab. And Veronica's like, well. And then they hang up. Camera pans down to Weevil, who's sitting with the magnetic strip machine on his lap. He's like, oh, I found it, all right. And now I'm going to start running some scams.
They also do this whole, like, who owes who now. And that would be cool if he had saved her from something recently, but I definitely think it's more that you owe her more now. I know this is like kind of like a callback and supposed to be like maybe their last send-off or whatever, but it doesn't really play the right way. Because this episode does not go. They both should help each other. I don't know.
So then after they hang up, Keith calls Veronica into the office. And he goes, hey, Veronica, you want to explain to me what this is? And I was like, oh, no. did Keith get the email with Veronica's sex tape?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, no.
He's like, I watched it 5 times just to make sure this was right.
He calls her in and he like plays a message on the answering machine. He's like, what's this all about? And she's like, oh, it's just for another case. Don't worry about it.
No, it's the call of it's the recording of them confessing, but it's all splashed.
Oh, right.
It's all out and skipping. And she's like, oh, so they did like have an actual confession. You did confess their confession. And she goes, well, they didn't know that. This is my big nitpick of the episode. In the room, she plays back the recording for them without it glitching out.
Yeah.
She recorded it. It doesn't.
Yeah, and it's way longer than.
Yeah, but she when she plays on her phone, she's not playing answering machine.
Yeah.
So trying to be like, oh, she recorded it and sent it to the answer machine, but he has the recording. But that's not how that worked because she literally plays back the recording from her phone. So it would be on her phone that she could send. I know what they're trying to do, but that's just not how any of that worked.
Yeah. But then somebody else shows up into the office and they go, Veronica? Veronica leaves Keith's office. She's like, hang on a second, Pop. She goes out into the main areaway and it's Logan. And Logan's all bloody and sweaty and beaten. And Veronica's like, oh my God. And then Logan goes, Veronica, there's something you should know. Cut the credits.
I'm thinking of this ending, and it's the same as the episode of season when Dick shows up at Logan's place. I did something bad. Yep. So we're never going to hear about what Logan did.
Yeah, no, we're just going to start a whole new
storyline,
new case next episode.
I would love next episode to be a random case of the week, like completely random.
But that's the episode. Weevils wobble, but they don't go down. Not a fan of this episode.
I'm not a fan of this episode either. It is going to be very challenging for the listener poll to do our top 3 and bottom 3 episodes because there are some people. There's some episodes that are fighting for the title. Low question. Weevil's workman's comp claim?
No, we don't worry about that.
Now, I thought that this whole episode was setting up to be the usual suspects and having a Kaiser Sose ending because they have all the pieces in place, even the lineup. Yeah. The lineup is from Usual Suspects. He limp like in Usual Suspects. Expecting to see the little ending walk, and it seems like it's set up for it. The titles Weevils wobble, but they don't go down. I'm expecting to see a cool, badass ending with Weevil, and instead he's just sitting in a chair holding a thing that I don't know how he's going to utilize. Exactly. I guess he's going to go to another school town and get as much food as he wants.
Yeah, get as much of that diner slop as he wants.
Now, finding out who the kids were that were doing the scam, I do like that they called out that they're rich and they're doing the scam to save money. And it's crazy that they're willing to send the guy to jail to cover their tracks. You know, just rich kids being awful. Insanity that they would pick those names.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just insanity.
You'd think they'd be smarter than that, you know?
Like they made it so obvious.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Sylvia Plath. I'm surprised that the food court worker would, she's like, yeah, I mean, I'm not smart. Like, I'm not a fucking high GPA student, but I know fucking Fibonacci.
Yeah. I mean, Sylvia Plath isn't a person. But also, I'm surprised he just doesn't just scan and it clears and you just keep it going.
Yeah, I would never pay attention to any names.
Yeah, the thing about, I just want to say Piz and Logan. There's 2 ways to go with this. Both of them I wouldn't like.
Yep.
If Piz turns out the bad guy that was actually filming, I don't know, would think that he was going to have sex with Veronica in that situation or that in his room. So if he is the one that's doing this, I'd be like, that's a weird turn for this character. Don't like it.
He's been hired by Aaron Eccles. It was his dying wish to get a Veronica Mars sex tape out there.
And if Piz wasn't responsible, then Logan just did one of the worst things possible. And I don't know how we're supposed to go back to wanting to be with Veronica. Like, I already don't want him to be with Veronica because of all the other horrible things him and Dick have done to her. So this would be like we're done.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's a wild ending.
I can't believe there's one left.
There's one episode left in this season, and then a long hiatus. There's the movie, and then long hiatus, and then season 4.
So we have to deal with Wallace in the castle? Like, really? This thing that just came out of nowhere? I don't care about this election with Keith. I can't believe they didn't do more with the Fitzpatrick. Maybe they fire Leo D'Amato again.
Well, the next episode is titled The Bitch is Back.
Dude, it's happening.
Logan's
mom's
mom
back.
Coming out of the fucking water with seaweed.
This would make our whole podcast journey worth it.
Yes, it would.
Definitely going with that prediction. I was going to go with that prediction regardless. The bitch is back.
I'm going to say she comes back. Veronica's mom comes back. Mm-hmm. Kendall Casablancas comes back because she wasn't actually killed.
I'm going to say Allison Hannigan comes back.
Oh, Allison Hannigan comes back. Yeah.
Logan, another long lost sibling.
Hannah from Vermont, the Beanhead, comes back. Who others? Lily comes back from the grave.
You know they're going to try to do a Lily dream sequence. You know they're going to try to. Because they have to think that this is the end.
I guess.
I don't know. Someone let us know in Discord if they knew getting canceled this season or if they were reason they got canceled afterwards.
Yeah. Well, this episode, Weevils, Wobble, But They Don't Go Down, and The Bitch is Back aired on the same day. Both of them aired on May 22nd, 2007.
Yeah. They were just like, let's just dump this out.
Yeah.
I don't think we see Weevil anymore.
Yeah, he's done.
We're going to find out the election result.
Yeah, who's the bitch that's coming back? I'm going to say Logan's mom.
Yeah, Logan's mom for sure. Is she a bitch though? I don't think they could view her that way. I think she's a victim. But this show, not afraid to victim blame.
Victim blames nonstop.
Not afraid to victim blame. They probably are referring to Piz as being a bitch. Actually, let's think for a minute. Is there someone that
Madison? Madison is the sex tape maker.
Honestly, if they do that, I'm going to hate it also. I think Madison is an awful person. I think she does not care about Veronica the way Veronica cares about her. To make Madison out to be even more of a victim when she was also the person that Dick was trying to date rape is just messy. That's just messy.
Yeah.
And I know she's a terrible person, but that doesn't mean that Dick should to her.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, I feel like there's a character we're forgetting about that she screwed over. I mean, Paris Hilton would be hilarious.
Oh, Paris Hilton comes back.
I'm going to say the mom comes back just because we've been predicting that. We might get some Allison Hannigan.
Yeah.
But I like that. I like your Veronica mom.
Yeah, the mom comes back.
That was a major part of the first season when she cared about her mom. She did it all.
Haven't mentioned her in a long time.
No.
Anyway, that's a wrap for Weevils Wobble, But They Don't Go Down. Thanks for listening. Thanks for everything. Join our Discord. Let us know what you thought about the episode. Look out for that listener poll. It's going to be all over the fucking place. So if you miss it, that's on you. Mm-hmm. Okay? We're putting it out there. It's everywhere. But be on the lookout for that. Join Patreon, patreon.com/boyswatchingbuffy. Check out True Blood. Got 50 Shades of Summer coming up.
50 Shades of Gray for the summer.
It's 50 Shades of Summer.
50 Shades of Summer.
Yeah. 50 Shades of Gray, 50 Shades Darker, 50 Shades Freed coming up this summer on Boys Watching Movies.
Those titles, man. That last one is, I don't know. I think they could have come up with a better one for that.
They definitely could have. You want to shout out, you know what to do. Apple Podcasts, Spotify reviews, Amazon wishlist. Boys Watching Buffy on Instagram and TikTok. Boyswatchingbuffy@gmail.com. And stay tuned next time where we conclude Season 3 of Veronica Mars with The Bitch is Back.
Please, we can work this out. You can be one of us.
Is this where you turn me into a vampire?
Spring just slid into your DMs. Grab that boho look for that rooftop dinner, those sandals that can keep up with you, and hang some string lights to give your patio a glow up. Spring's calling. Ross, work your magic.
Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.